Alright. I just said have fun. You can move whenever to mate an X. And I'll say have fun here and simply make a move. Let's try knight here. Alright, and this one here. Have fun, and you can go whenever. And the last one. Just 4 games here. 4 is enough. Have fun. Alright, let's do something different. E4. Trying to get a little bit of a mix here. How to meet the E4 move. Let's go with E6. Play a French. Let's play... Ready? Let's see how black reacts to that. Support the pawn, capture the pawn. This could be so many different things. And we have the Sicilian here. Alright. Knight F3. We're in for the long haul. These usually last a good 50 minutes. Alright, D5. That is why I played E6 there. So, okay, C6. I might end up playing a gambit here. Maybe that pawn could be taken and actually hung on to. So we'll see how dynamic I could maybe get in trying to show that maybe it's a time waster. Well, we'll see. That one could be interesting. I'm not usually a big fan of giving up material. Okay. What to do here? Let's try this. Maybe we could still enter a Nimzo or a Bogo. And I want to go with this. Maybe we could enter a structure that black will not be too familiar with. Doubled C pawns. Oh, the exchange French. Okay. And here, knight C3. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go with G3. He still could be taken. We'll see what the decision is. Let's go for this here. Bishop B4. Check. Knight C3, knight D2, bishop D2. Hopefully not queen D2. Alright, I could grab this knight. Is there any rush, however? Could take right away, but let's castle. Maybe I'll do it on my next turn. Maybe black will be too quick to throwing a question to my bishop. I think that's a loss of time. So this is a fairly tame deployment of this guy. Bishop E2. I guess it's anticipating knight here and not having to worry about a pin. Well, I'm probably not going to want to go here. Well, I'm not going to go here then, but I'll go to F5. But I don't see any need to do that just yet. I don't think there's a better spot for my knight. Maybe there is, but let's get here. He's still out there. He could be taken. Oh, he's moving very quick. So, okay, this is the second game where there could potentially be doubled C pawns. In the other game, I'm playing the white side, and I could saddle my opponent with doubled C pawns. I could do so here as black. I could consider knight E4, but queen here. Maybe I go with B6. What am I gonna do? B6, castles. Knight E4, I'm not giving too great a weight to. Capturing here and running right for the doubled C pawns, I'm not so sure. I need to really make a move, of course. Let's go with B6. Okay, so they are going with that. I will take. I'm pretty sure taking like that happens also voluntarily without being provoked. And I think it's best to get my bishop here right now. Well, actually, what's the great rush? Why do I think I need to move my bishop so quickly? Let me do c6. This is designed to make sure my bishop will be secure once he's on d6. c6 to secure bishop d6, not having to worry about knight b5 stuff. So my opponent just keeps on declining this capture. You know what I'm going to do, though? I'm just going to reinforce it. Now... Okay, yeah, I'm going to make sure that I could just scoop him right back up. If given time, I think I might want to eventually get an e4 in that game. Okay, so this is the structure we're working with. How should I approach this? There are some ideas with c3, d4, I believe, which may seem a bit awkward to do that. My opponent is the side who has now the bishop pair. This is the piece I want to keep under control. The X-factor bishop, their unopposed bishop, their light square bishop. So I think going with just a light square pawn structure is always a possibility. Not always, but let's go with I gotta make a move. Let's go with d3. Yeah, I'm not gonna go with that c3, d4 stuff. So let me get my bishop here before they get their bishop on this diagonal. I'll cope with the pin on my knight by connecting my knights and then moving my queen to c7. Alright, castle. Gotta get castled. And now I think it's best to throw a question to this bishop. I want some more information about you. You're gonna take? You gonna back up here? Where are you going to go? Before I make my next decision with that game, I want to see what he's up to. And what is the scoop with this? So let's do h3. Restricting the bishop. I don't want to deal with bishop g4, so let's get this out first, and then I can follow up with knight b to d7. Wow. Okay. Why am I wowing this move here? It's very weakening, and I'm seeing it as such right now. I'm seeing it that I'm never going to capture. Maybe I will. I'm going to keep this tension. I'm going to play b3 and now say to myself, if there ever is black capturing twice on c4, he is very vulnerable. My bishop is starting to get a little bit well, he's gained in strength a little bit as soon as b5 has been played, as indirect as it may be. So, okay, I'm still in a pin. I don't really want to do this. I do, however, want to make sure my bishop is here. Yeah, he definitely belongs there. I don't know what else would I really want to consider castling. I think I want to eventually have him here. And like I'm doing in the exchange French is black, I want to have my knights connected, and then I could at least move my queen. However, I'm not sure where would be a good spot to move my queen. So, knight here, absolutely. He doesn't have a better square. I could have also castled. So, knight d2, I think I want to play. Oh, however, you know what I might want to do? Now that this bishop is here, I might want to consider closing the position a little bit, and then by I'm thinking about c5 here, so that there isn't some idea of like takes and then c5, and then he's coming to life. I might want to do something directed at making him look a little silly. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with. Although, is this even being threatened right now? Could I just get one more developing move in and maybe keep this tension for one move? I'm not sure. I'm just going to do this. I got to go primarily with instincts, of course. Here is probably not a good idea. I think queen here could be a pain. Do I castle? Do I castle? What are my decisions here? Definitely don't want to move this knight. D6, knight D7, D6, queen A4, knight C6, D5. Starts to be very awkward. Could always kick the bishop and play knight E4. I'm not a great fan of weakening like that. Maybe I'm needing to do something like this. Let's castle first. Yeah, let's castle. I gotta go quick here. And what? What are you umming? C4? I think I like C4. Tying in well again with controlling that light square bishop. Knight C3 and maybe knight A4. There might be an idea of A4, A5. My knight, however, could get there and he could be supported with B3. I do have to be concerned, however, about that main dark diagonal. My rook might be susceptible to tactics. Question the bishop or castle. I'm going to actually question the bishop. For some reason I was thinking maybe knight here and F5. I don't know how far-fetched that is, but okay. Whoa. So black is making use of F8 prior to castling, maybe in some sense trying to save a move. If there's one pawn break black looks to get in, it's E5, so I want to make sure I have that under control. How does he get back to being active? It's either by way of this diagonal or returning home, but if you're not getting an E5, returning home isn't really doing you much good. I think my knight belongs here. And if black isn't careful, I might one day have my knight on this square supported with B4. And what is he doing is putting pressure on C6, and that's highly inconvenient. So I think, what do I think about this move? I think I'm going to develop. And you know what? If E5, something you'll sometimes want to prevent. If E5, I'm going to try something quick like knight H2 and F4, opening up the F file. So they're maintaining that pin. However, isn't this now going to be a little bit uncomfortable? I think there's now already some worry of G5, and I'm threatening to maybe win a pawn. I might have to have some concern. I have an unprotected bishop on F5 in that one, so watching over E4. I almost feel like I want to return to break the pin, to be honest. But what about D5? I could consider D5. Might want to do that. If I'm playing D5, I'm not going to be taking here. I'd only take here if I could maybe work against double pawns on the C file, but I'm not so sure I could do that. D5. What's another pawn setup I could be going forward with? If I'm not careful, I mean, after castles, maybe with some prep, E4 is happening. I'm going to go with this. If my bishop's kicked, I'm going to come back to E7. So I'm not so quick to do this because I want to still see if this move is going to happen. So what might still be a useful move in positions where E5 is played? I think Queen E2 is natural and good. Let's develop. I'm not sure where... Oh my goodness, did I really allow this? Oh, for a second I was thinking there'd be an opportunity for white to... do what? To give check to my king. That bishop moved, and then this e-file was wide open. So I'm not quite sure what this knight is up to. This pawn really knocks him out. He negates this knight on g6, this guy. And I keep saying that. a3 is met with a5. I can't get in b4. If I do this, however, now I'm ready to do something like b4. a5, a3. And then I could maintain a pawn on b4 is what I'm getting at. I think I need to have this bishop here before I do anything with my pawns. I wonder if a4 was maybe an idea. Okay, they castled. I could take like this, but I think it's better to keep the tension. My knight needs to do something. I don't think c6 is it. Let's go to d7. However, wait. They're no longer in a pin. But if my bishop's questioned, I could go where? Where would I like to go, actually? I'm going to... I'm thinking about this, so when my bishop's kicked, maybe I could go here, but I think I need to just get developed. I rook there. Okay, so... Is e5 really going to be played? I wonder. Where's my bishop belong? See, if I do this move, trying to break up this group of 3 pawns in saddle black with double isolated c pawns, then maybe he's an issue. And what else am I doing? I'm allowing bishop f5. There's no way I want to do that. No way. So how could I improve still? Bishop d2 seems very tame. Maybe I could induce a weakness. Let's do this. See if I can provoke h6. If h6, now I'll return to d2. Now I think I need to just get castled, and I don't think that castling queenside is best. So let's just go there. And now is when I'm really considering b4, knight b3 to a5. Yeah, this is gaining in strength right now. Let's go with b4. No moves there. Mate next here. Okay, something needs to go in the open file. I could still do this and win a pawn, but I really don't like weakening my light squares. I could play g5, but then again I could play g5 whenever I want, and I wouldn't be I wouldn't be unwelcome to having white give up their bishop. I could then play g6, king here. There's some nice slow improving moves that I could be running forward with. I'm thinking about just getting on an open file. Something as simple as that. I do have to be cautious of a knight landing on f5. So if I throw rook here, bishop takes, knight h4 to here. Is that really annoying? I wonder about g6. No. Oh, I'm gonna go with this rook. There might in some lines be like a knight pivot on f8 or a bishop dropping back. I don't know. Something about vacating f8 has my attention there. Now, I did kind of think this would be a move, but I was I think I wanted to deal with it by playing my knight back here. Let's do this. Let's do this. All right. Now here, my knight is unprotected. I really want to just do this. Let me play my rook here. No, here. Yeah. h6 I want to return to here. Why here exactly? I don't know if I have a good answer to that. I need to move quick though. Let's do this. Just to follow up with b3 next. Okay, now this is gaining in strength. Like what? g5? I mean, would there really be some sack over here? That's crazy. That wouldn't be good. And I could always challenge a piece there with bishop f4. g5, bishop here, takes, queen here. If this knight ever moves, I get the queen. I think it's worthwhile to do that. My queen is attacked. I could come back to d6. It's a little scary, but I think it's the right thing to do. I'm not seeing what the big drawback is with that. I'm going to go pawn hunting. Let's go pawn hunting. g5 it is, and now nothing is being done. Okay, well, no, something is being done. My opponent also isn't castled, but they're prepping this move. But you know what I'm going to do? I am going to prepare to meet e5 with e4. Should I do it now? If I do it now, takes, knight takes, then this square could maybe be made use of. I'm going to go here opposite the king. That cannot be bad. They're still not castled. Are they really in a position to open up the board? Okay. For just this moment, all of my opponents are in the think tank. That's a good thing. A lot of thinking is going on right now. All right, we have action. This knight with f4, white is saying No, no, no. You will need to work a little bit harder to get rid of my knight. And if you get rid of him, I'm taking with the pawn. My rook is happy, and your pieces are inconvenienced. Or are they? This is a weakness. What's the downside with that 4? It's e4. This is now a hole, so this is the one move I'm really drawn to right now. You know what I could also consider? Takes here with c5. I don't even know what c5 does. That's great. Maybe black just leaves it sitting. I need to make a move. Knight e4. The bishops are in tension. Bishop takes, queen takes. Bishop takes, pawn takes. My bishop looks maybe kind of dumb, but c5 is another move. Maybe it should be c5. Things are going to get violent in this game. I think c5 is it. Let me try to break down this structure. Let's go for it. It's going to get a little wild. Okay, so the bishop is deploying itself there, huh? Let's do this. My knight is hanging, but there's not a good knight move. Oh, they are going for this. I hope I did well to calculate. Okay, he needs to go. He needs to go, and I need to just challenge this. Is that queen going to come in? Queen f5? Is that what the big plan is? I'm not going to let you perpetual check me. My king is going to run up all the way to g6 maybe, if that happens. Wait, should I throw a check in? Is there anything before I play to f5? Should I throw a check in? Bishop h2? This guy's in love with the h2 square. Check, king h1, and then here, or just here immediately? Is there any benefit to having the king on this square? I'm getting way too picky here. Way too picky. I don't know. I'm going to keep him on a dark square. Leave him on a dark square. Okay, I knew that was coming. I'm keeping my pawn on b4. Incoming soon, knight b3 to a5, maybe. Over here, okay, my knight is hit. Yes, he is. And his pawn's in a pin. Maybe queen to c2 isn't bad. What about knight here, actually? Just move him out of harm's way. I'm going to do that. It's a pretty good lockdown. Now I could take, queen takes, king h7, queen h4 here. Pretty much need to take. Alright, let's go here. Oh, that knight's going to go where? What is he up to? Oh, he's going to put pressure on this square? e4, I think e4 is just crying out to be played. Let's get my knight to b3. I got to start going quicker here. So takes here. What about rook here? Keep the tension. Get my rook working too. They offset now. Get my bishop back somewhere. I think here. Maybe I could even trade dark square bishops. They have the bishop pair. That might not be a bad idea. King here. King here is met with check. King h2. King h2. Or king h7. See, I don't think that there could be. I don't know that there's a perpetual there. Nothing here. Over here. Queen there. Some sack on this square. I think I want to move my knight and just do this. My knight out of the way. Here comes f4. Oh, I forgot about that square. King here? Am I getting a little too crazy with my king? Oh boy. What about king here? There's no more checks after king in the corner. Aha. Let's go here. Alright. All right, they're being very stubborn here. They're not cashing in at all. How could I improve? What about this? No, I think queen here is going to be very effective. I think now's my time to strike in some way. Knight here. Maybe I take first, and then knight here. I think I want to do that. It's gonna get pretty wild here. Let's see. What's the move here? Pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, knight takes. Takes, takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, knight takes. If pawn takes here, I could maybe grab this pawn with check and pick up the bishop. No, there's always bishop f2, and I have a knight hanging. Take on this square first, and then knight here. I think I should do that. It's too difficult to calculate all that. So rook, oh my goodness, I'm in trouble. Rook here, here to here. What a slick move that is. I want to get the queens off. Rook g8 to g6 though. I think that's good. I start to worry less about perpetuals. I have king safety, knight here. Let's get there. Let's get that knight there. And now, how am I doing on the clocks? 9 minutes in that game. Oh, I got to start rolling here. Where am I at? Right here. Okay. Takes again. I want to be able to post up my knight. Let's get there. I should have done a pre-move on that. I don't know if that's the best pre-move. Probably, but hang on. Oh, here I get forked. That's not good. What about this followed by f5, f4, f5? It's very weakening, but if I could get an f5, I think that might be nice. Seems crazy, but I'm going to try it. Gotta just do stuff quickly. Get my other rook working. I'm not sure where. I'm just going to do this. I'm very low on that game, time-wise. Okay, they're all thinking here. Okay. Okay, that knight. Oh, he's going to be a pain. Big pain. I'm doubled though. I'm gonna start generating some threats of my own. Rook g5, maybe taking on b2. Whoa. Okay, so he got to be too annoying. I have the exchange. They're not castled. Let's open up the position. Knight there. This was my idea. I need to just be consistent. Follow through with f5. Back over here. Knight f4, the queen is trapped. How about that? Queen here. Oh. I mean, they'd have to sack material, but knight f4 defends here, but rook g5, where's she going? Nowhere good. So, they've given up a minor piece in exchange for 2 pawns. They did move their knight, I think. They moved their knight. I think I have the queen in that game. Queen takes or rook takes? Just make a move. Just make a move. I'm going to go with the rook. Because I want to double. Maybe I also want to do bishop c3. My opponent wants a draw in this game? Or what game? I'm not sure what game this is addressing. I don't want to draw in any game, actually. I think I'm better. Maybe in... Well, I don't know about... I'm not even sure where that draw offer came from. Somebody offered to draw. Oh, this game here. He offered to draw. It was a mistake, he's saying in the chat. So rook g5. It defends here, but what about rook g5? What am I missing? There's a knight check. Queen check is nothing. Knight check is nothing. The queen is out of squares. I think this was ending abruptly now. Queen's cooked. Okay. Bishop here, just give the queen a kick. Get her out a little bit. And then double. Okay, I'm pretty sure the only other move was to take the knight on c3. I'm not really seeing that working. Let's just recapture. There, and now keep the position closed. Still working against this bishop. Okay. So the game that I'm down a lot of time with is one that I'm going to be picking up a lot of material now. If they want to save the queen, I'm pretty sure knight g6 is needed here. And then the queen could return to f3, but this is a lost position. Unless I'm missing something. I don't think I am. What do I do in this game? If the position's closed, I should still be able to find some pawn break. There's always still h4. Position's closed, they have the bishop pair. All my pawns, well, I guess it's a bit exaggerated, but all of them are on light squares here. Is there going to be some issue with this? This knight is usually inconvenienced by an h pawn. b3, b6, g3, g6. Knights on those squares hate rook pawn attacks. So, oh, I could just take here? Takes which knight? That's what I'm considering, which knight to take. Here, rook captures. That's a little bit awkward, that rook position. I'm actually starting to like my position a little bit better. I think white could be saddled with a hanging pawn structure in a position where there's only one pair of minor pieces and the rest major. Knight takes knight, rook takes, knight takes knight. Pawn recaptures in some way. I already have a flight square. This king is potentially vulnerable to checks here. Knight takes knight. Let's go with this one. Rook there. Okay, what do I do here? What's my plan now that we have this structural change? How about just threaten to double up? Let's just do that. Nothing here. Something here. There's some pressure here. I guess it's opening that up. I'm gonna give him a kick. I guess just allow him to go there. Pawn takes. Maybe I don't take. Could I really work around this knight? This pawn is pinned. This rook is unprotected. Maybe there's no rush with taking this knight just yet. How about I get my last piece working? Maybe I'll go knight f6. Maybe I'll take and then take here and get him. Something more forceful. Could I always open up this main diagonal for my bishop? I really like getting all my pieces working in this position. Let me just build up the pressure following a similar general idea, get all my pieces working in this one. That knight is kicked back. Now, I'm thinking about maybe something on h7, less than 10 minutes in this game. Knight, this could maybe be a point I could strike at. Maybe I should be considering this. How about again, even in this game? It's weird how this is happening, but how about I get, oh, actually, I want to make sure there's not going to be something annoying here. You know what? Something should be happening on this square. What about h? I think this is right. Yeah, let me move forward. I'm looking to strike at g7. That queen is off sides. Okay. Do I really need my knight here? What about do this pawn takes? There's enough coverage on this, but everything is very tied down. My knight could use some improvement. I think I want my knight here, but how would I do that now that my rook's on f1? Maybe I should have considered knight f1, g3, and only then brought my rook in here. That would have been a better thing to do. Maybe I could undo it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could undo it. Yeah, I think I slipped up. My knight, I don't know if I really want him on this square. Maybe. There might be a thought of g5 takes, knight takes with check. I'm really not quite sure. Let's let's just do this. See what my opponent does. So, oh, they took my rook there. So I'm up a queen, but I'm down time in this one. My opponent's flying. They're down another piece right now. That knight's pinned. All right, so that one's objectively won, but still tough to play fast here. I'm going to take the knight and then let's open stuff up. I think they're the side who's more tactically vulnerable due to their king position and their rook being unprotected. So, okay, things are getting broken down. This weakens this pawn. In fact, I could take this pawn. And why don't I? Is there any drawback to taking this pawn? I don't believe there should be. I always support it with the b4. Okay, my opponent resigned in this game. Alright. Yeah, that queen got, she ended up getting trapped there. So there's 3 games remaining. G5! Wow! G5 is very crazy. I mean, I was provoking him to move, but I think going 2 squares is... That seems really crazy. Like, I could take and play here, and maybe that's actually what I should do. Attacking an unprotected piece. If he's defended, I have f4. This diagonal is open. This queen is just out of play. I think I take this pawn. Follow up with rook g4. Okay, so it's the queen who took. Now, my first thought is here. But maybe I could take and then play here, offering a queen exchange, or I end up winning a pawn. So I could get one of those. And with the hanging pawn structure, my structure versus white's, the white's is more vulnerable. Is there something better, however? Maybe I should take here first, see how white responds, and only then make my next move. I'm going to try that. So they took here. Now, I could take with my knight. Probably, I should take with my... No, I'm going to take with the pawn. I don't want to take with my knight. Could defend my knight now with this. Before, with this pawn still in d4, there could with the pawn still in d5, there was always d4. But my bishop could be defending my knight if he's attacked. Okay, so that's how they're recapturing. Bishop here. This is now a nice home. I have to be cautious because my queen is unprotected. So bishop here, rook takes f5. This is unprotected, so if I could attack again, I'd be threatening mate. Queen coming out to h4. Rook takes. Would the pawn really take? I think it's getting way too simplified for white to have to deal with an isolated or a hanging pawn structure. I think either structure is no longer so great for white, whether it be an isolated pawn or hanging pawn structure. How am I doing time-wise? Okay, decent in those other games. Let me consider still. Rook takes rook or bishop d5. I'm not liking bishop d5. Bishop here is no good. I'm dropping material. Let's take the rook. See how white recaptures in that one. So queen here. My knight's attacked. Bishop here is my first thought. I'm still on the bishop, and now I'm threatening a discovery. So they're still chewing on this one. Rook to g4 is the follow-up. Okay, so isolated pawn. This rook is unprotected. Moves like queen to h4 are threatening bishop takes pawn, with queen g4 picking up the rook. This pawn has enough support for it. I don't know if I really want to go forward with the queen trade. Maybe this is being set up. There is enough support for it. I was thinking about something like this. That's not really working. This queen is very well centralized and can't be kicked. It's a very strong piece, the queen on e5. What about bishop here? If f5, I could take the bishop, pawn takes, and then queen here. a counter pin. If pawn takes, I take the queen, and you can't take back because the rook is unprotected. I'm thinking about bishop here. Really, I'm drawn to that. Let's go for it. Okay, the knights or the bishop went backwards. I could do this though. Just there's a discovery. I'm picking up material. Yeah, I could grab some material if I want in this position. Knight here. The dark square bishop is actually maybe even the better piece to take. Maybe I should do this first. I think I should be opening up the position. Let's go forward with that. Ooh, okay. There, I really feel like taking something else. Take on f7. Give it. And I was thinking I can maybe get that at the end of it. I think I just retreat my knight to this square, because now I'm threatening to give check and then pick up the rook. Nothing here yet. Nothing here yet. Okay. So I could do this, hit the queen, take the bishop, take the pawn, give check. There's a lot of very good possibilities. Knight here is looking forward to a fork. Okay, I could deal with that though. Okay, so the rook is getting out of danger. And now bishop takes, pawn takes, queen here. Very active. I think I'm just a move or two away from winning a pawn here. At least it feels like that. Bishop takes, hanging pawns. He's unprotected on c4. Queen here in white's territory. Pressure on the rook. The pawn on c4. Still potential checks if the rook leaves the first rank. I have a flight square for my king. If this pawn ever moves, I could make use of a check here on c5. Let me take the bishop. Going there, and now if I give check, the knight's going to block. These guys aren't even playing over here. Knight, bishop, and queen. I mean, this is definitely crying out to be played just to open up this diagonal. Maybe I could prep that. Bishop b2, queen c3 seems a little bit slow with then d5. Seems like there should be something more direct. I really feel like I should just be making a move, though. Let's give this check. I'm not sure. So queen to b4. How am I doing time-wise? There, here. Okay, queen to b4. It's just so active. I'm hitting so many pieces. Queen is restricted. The pawn is hit. It seems like it's the right thing to do. So now, take this rook, take this bishop. I feel like I want to take the bishop. Let me take the rook. It's with check. It's easier to calculate. I could do this. I could take here. It opens up the g5 square for checks now. Okay. Knight there. Oh, I could do this. What about f4, f5? Is that getting a little too crazy? Maybe. My bishop needs to play. If I could get... Oh, maybe I should do this. Just exchange dark square bishops. Defend my pawn. I'm going to go for that. Bishop g5. Just want to exchange that dark square bishop. Then it becomes very serious, those dark squares. So knight check here. Yeah, I'm not so quick to give up my darks. Hang on. Knight check, bishop takes, pawn takes, knight here. He's a bit of a pain. Now I'm gonna allow this fork to happen. I'm gonna take that guy. Yeah, because now I have queen e3 check if knight g3. Nothing here, nothing here. They're down a lot of time actually on this one. 4 minutes and change. My idea is just to get rid of the dark square bishop. He's the better bishop, and I think when he goes, then I could invade on these dark squares a lot easier. What about knight here? Hitting the rook. The knight can't move. I think this is a good move. Get my knight into play. Nothing here. Nothing here. I'm up the exchange and a pawn or two in this one. Yeah. They moved in this one, and now I thought I could win a pawn now. I said as soon as this pawn moves, I have this as a check. So we're going to go into a rook endgame, and I want to make sure my rook is going to be the more active rook. There's a couple things I can consider. Pawn takes, rook takes. If queen takes rook, then I get this rook. Or just give this check right away. I think in either case, taking here first is best. I don't want to allow queen takes c4, pawn takes here. I want to keep this group of pawns. Take here first, and then consider... There's no back rank mates. I got h7. Let's take. Okay, my knight is hit. That's a sneaky move. Let me give a check first, and then I could take that pawn. I don't have to deal with queen g3 stuff now. So they took with the pawn. I could take here. Rook takes pawn. I am, however, open to queen trade, because at the end of it, if my rook is here, then it's going to be playing here and very active. It'll defend my base point and constantly put pressure here. And if he ever goes, 2 connected pass pawns is just too good. So I just want to give this check. I think this is the simpler, less calculation needed approach. I could do this pawn push, or I could just take. Why not? Oh, my knight's still hanging. Could be sneaky, queen here. If queen takes knight, pawn push. I'm also threatening to maybe take on g6. Pawn push, there's king. I want to take this pawn, but I want to keep my knight position. Yeah, there is something to smashing through here. At the end of it, I take here and take the loose knight. So I think queen g5 is the correct move. f6 if queen takes knight. Rook block, okay. Oh, this is going to welcome a lot of exchanges now. Okay, they moved again. My time is very low in this one. Take here. Okay, they're going for that. Now that the king has come in this direction instead of going the corner, see what I wanted to do that. Now there's maybe some back rank issues. Taking with the rook, and now there's some other checks I could be getting in. But I might want to just go with the simpler approach, taking here with the queen. Rook check, king here, rook here. Rook here, rook takes pawn. I take here. This pawn f5 move might be annoying. Oh, actually, here's another thing. Rook takes pawn, queen check. Dropping this. I'm just gonna go with this. Pre-move that. They resigned in this one. Okay, good game. I was ready to smash through on g6 at that point. 2 games remaining. This one here where I have about 4.5 minutes. Bishops are in tension. I think this is the only move. If bishop takes bishop, I have this check. But after king to f8, I'm not sure. These guys still aren't playing. I'm still thinking on this one. But you have to do this in order to save material. Like, to still be just down the exchange. I think you need to take my bishop. So they went with the queen trade here. I pre-moved that capture. They played queen d5. And I capture with my rook. So rook check. Okay, I only have one move. Rook here is what I thought. But then rook here. If I get this pawn, I'm also cutting off their king. So I'll still have a very active rook. Okay, no. Oh, now I'm getting just a pawn for free. If we trade rooks, it's a one king and pawn endgame. Pretty sure. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Can't trade rooks there. So here, knight check. King f8. Queen takes bishop, king takes knight, queen check here. Let's do that. Yeah, because now I could get this pawn a little bit easier. Really? King and pawn endgame? Takes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Hang on. Takes. King g6. King d3. King f6. King c4. King e6. King... Are they really that fast? Do I have time to even calculate that? Shouldn't be too difficult. Rook takes. King here. Oh, I could gain a tempo on this pawn. I really don't want to calculate, though. Let me... I wish I had more time in the other game where I could just make sure. This is just the playing it safe move. Yeah, I'm giving a check next. And then entering here. Yeah, if he goes, look at how quick he is to queening. So, rook over, keep pressure on that pawn is the plan. And now get my king working here. Okay. King needs to get rolling here. Pawn push first. Let me do this. That pawn up. I don't want to allow g4. I want to make sure my king has breathing space before he comes in. My rook is doing a good job cutting off the king, tying down the rook to that pawn's defense. Still up a pawn in that one. What are they thinking about in this one? They have to take the knight, right? Queen g5 as a follow-up. Bishop e4. There could be a passed pawn over here. Okay, king up. This check I just block. Nothing here yet. Okay. I could advance my pawns a couple. I'm just going to go here. Just shelter my king for a bit. Maybe inch my pawns next. Let's give this check. If knight here, it's a self pin. Might not be far-fetched to do like rook e1, e3, f3. My bishop could get here in case of these things and maybe stop an eventual passed a pawn. They are working themselves into a pin. Actually, what's more efficient is to keep my rook right where he is and go after the a7 pawn. Knight's pinned, win him, and then I'm threatening to queen. Okay, now what I had intended with this is a check and then a4. And that will successfully break up these pawns. They'll be split. So I think I'm going to do that. Check. And now unless the king comes here, you know, I'll consider h4. So h4 right now. Break these guys up and then get at h3. Split pawn structure, then he's vulnerable. The f4 pawn. 3 minutes each in this one. Still have that 10-second increment though. Less than 2 minutes here. So now I'm able to take this pawn, and now I'm definitely in a much better position. It still might have been winning before to do the rook trade, but definitely now the king's further back than my own. Alright. In that rook trade, if these pawns were a little bit more advanced, okay, I could pick up this pawn. But you know what? I don't need to do that. My king is eventually going to be the one who does it. It's going to come over here. My king will come up right to g4 and win one of those two. Okay, now just picked up the pawn. The knight's still pinned. Is queen here going to happen? Maybe. Oh, if it does, I'm just going to defend it with my rook. The knight's pinned. I'm going to keep my queen right where she's at. Okay, they resigned in this one. Alright, good game. Let's close out of that. And this is the last game now. So queen d7, I'm going to play rook to d1. I don't want to defend with my queen. I want to keep this knight in a pin. Queen d7, rook d1. And I don't see anything. This bishop has been dead. Ever since it played to b7, let's just come over, rook to d1. Ever since it came here and c5 was played, it was very tough. So if bishop b7 earlier on was a move the bishop wanted to play, you needed to first, I think, play c5. So now, trying to kick my queen away. I'm definitely a fan of trading, but could I just keep the pin? Keep this, queen here, retreat the bishop, and then push my pawn. I think I want to go with that. Hang on. Queen takes queen. Pawn takes. Opens the door for the bishop. The knight is threatening the bishop. I can move away with my bishop. The king comes to f8. And it's still winning, but I like keeping that knight in a pin. I want black to work a little bit harder. And if there is going to be a trade, I want to be able to have access to c6 and not let this bishop out. Like, in other words, queen h5 could be played, threatening my queen and rook. Queen takes, knight takes, the structure stays as is. And now I'm able to move my bishop, attack the pawn, and then I'm 2 steps away from queening. They wouldn't be in time to stop it in that variation. So if queen here, queen takes, knight takes, bishop e4, you either stop the pawn or allow me to take the c6 pawn. So it'll essentially be allowing me to capture the c6 pawn in that case. This, however, is a move I did not even consider. It's also attacking my pawn here. I think I'm maybe even at the point where I don't need to... I just want to tuck my rook away. Right here, defend f2. I'm misplaying this because now another thing is that the queen is defending the knight. I overlooked that. So like king to f8, is that going to be a pain? Queen takes pawn, I don't think is going to work. I move my bishop, h7, h8. Yeah, I'm just all I'm doing next is moving my bishop probably to b1. Okay, probably to b1. Yes. Just in case this pawn thinks about getting to a2, I'll give up my bishop. And now I push. There's no way to stop me from queening. The knight is still pinned. Once I have the queen, then there's this. Though there's these 2 connected passed pawns, but I have 2 queens. 2 queens is too many. 2 queens too many. I mean, what do you try? B4, I get a queen, I'm already threatening the bishop. And then eventually, like, queen b8, queen d6, there's going to be mate happening soon. Somehow. There must be with 2 queens. Right? Right or wrong? Less than 45 seconds. Not sure what to suggest here for black. I don't think there is anything. Okay, I could take the knight as well, but there's no need. I'm going to get another queen. New queen on board. I'm going to keep that knight in a pin. And here, like I was saying earlier, rook up and over stuff. Alright, they're typing GG, so I guess they'll be resigning soon, yes. Alright, they resigned. Okay, that was the last game. Good games to all 4 of you. Mate and X, Heyo, the Scholar UK, and Pie Pants. Thank you for taking part in the Simul. It's been a long time since I did one of those. Alright, very cool.